New drivers and new teams. SF1R is back, and the teams were ready for pre-season testing here at the Hamad International Circuit. Chris was on top form in the Red Bull and topped the timings during the latter stages of the session, though he did encounter some unusual and perhaps awkward incidents.
Did anyone got some diaper? It's smelly over here.
Williams' lonely Farid, however, couldn't quite get to grips with the RB19. He ended the session 1.2 seconds off his teammate. Both Snook and Razor were retained for Season 5, and in pre-season, Snook had the upper hand over his teammates. Snook struggled to complete a clean lap in the early stages of the session, but at last put in a lap time good enough for P3. Razor featured late in the session, but was still able to go 5th fastest and within 2/10 of his teammate. Haas's Pierre Warner remained at the team for Season 5, and on one of his most competitive tracks, he finished 7th fastest with a 21.9. He was also one of the quickest in the speed traps, as he was running quite a tiny rear wing. His Season 5 teammate, I Love Ethan, did not attend the pre-season, however, so instead it was reserve driver Fireblade in place of the former FFR champ. Fireblade struggled in comparison to his teammate Pierre Warner and was last on the timing page. He also had quite a weird shunt into turn 7 after hitting the cement cones on the inside line. Alfa Romeo's Ledesky was slowly learning his new car and was just about a second off the pace. However, the rookies session was cut short after mechanical issues appeared with the C43 and was forced to park over to the side of the track. Mclaren also endured mechanical issue during the start of the session and lost key track time. The two black drivers of Fishnoop and Stealthy Water Bottle were 9th and 10th, and relatively close in terms of pace. Aston Martin's reserve driver BB Queen was in place of the Romza, and the one-time podium sitter was 11th behind the two McLarens. There was also a special guest of one-time SF1R race winner and Thrill League owner Fridgley. He demonstrated his pace on track in the AMR 23 and ended up faster than BB Queen by 3.5 tenths. The main focus on Aston Martin, however, is on Dino Monkey. He announced his retirement from road racing a week before pre-season testing, but still participated and immediately shown his raw pace, ending up P2 for pre-season. Jar was the only Williams driver during pre-season. He was 12th and about a second off the pace. Williams had won a Grand Prix last season at Malaysia. They were hoping for the same piece of magic to happen this season. Ali Pepe's original team for Season 5 was McLaren, but after some contract saga during the transfer window, he ended up joining Mercedes. He was 6th, and his pace in the race should not be overlooked. Lastly, Bro Racing's most consistent and inconsistent drivers joined forces at Ferrari. It was Pikachu who had the upper hand over Dom by less than a tenth. Dom was on a different program to Pika and tested for the long run pace for the team at first. Pika, on the other hand, was showcasing his drifting skills from the previous generation of Ferrari cars under the blazing sun. They both fitted on the soft compound tyres for a few hot lap runs during the back end of the session, and their pace seemed relatively competitive against the Brawn drivers. So Chris was fastest with dyno behind by only 8 milliseconds. The Brawn, Ferrari and Mclaren teammates were all within 2/10 of each other, Bali Pepe in P6 and Piovana P7 in the Haas. Booby Queen and Farid were far off their teammates in P11 and 14. The Sol Williams of Jar and the Alfa Romeo of Ledesky were in P12 and 13, and Fireblade was slowest of all and 1.7 seconds off the pace. The Audis were not present because Nee and Evan got kidnapped by the Taliban on their way to Doha. That's the end of pre-season testing at Doha, but stay tuned for round 1 of SF1R Season 5 next week at this very same circuit.